Good afternoon, Production Systems class of 2016. Today, my group and I will be demonstrating to you how you can make a code and circuit for a light wave.
When writing code for an Arduino Uno, always start with an explanation of the project in the comments, because if someone's reading the code without the comments, they'll be confused about what the project's for and what the code is for. To achieve our task of making our LEDs make a wave, we must first distinguish which pins we're going to use. To do this, we use the PWM ports, the ones marked with a tilde on your Arduino. To activate a pin, we use pin mode. After each line, make sure to end with a semicolon so the program is able to read the code. For example, if we wanted to activate pin 3, we would type pin, capital M, the word mode, open parenthesis 3, comma, space, in all caps the word output, closing parenthesis, and the semicolon. You can't forget the semicolon.
Alrighty, so after our pin modes are all put in, next we're going to move to our void loop. Anything in void loop is going to happen forever and ever until the end of time, ever. Alright, so first we set our integers right here, A through E, because we have 5 lights. Next up is our for statement. This will be setting the parameters of our project. So we have A equals 0, A is less than or equal to 256, and A plus plus. Now what this is telling us is basically we're going to set up a graph going in the X and Y direction 256, and with every loop A is going to go up 1. Okay? So this makes the analog right over here. We're going to put analog right here so that the LED gets power going to it, okay? So right now we have A's light going up 256, okay? Next we need B's light, okay? Now B is going to have an if statement of A being less than or equal to 192, because B is going to start at 64. Why? Because that's 25% of the maximum light we want, okay? So it's going to reach 256 a lot faster, well, 64 faster than A, okay? So that's why we have that if statement right there. Then of course we have the analog right. This analog right is going to be sending power to our light over here, right? Now we're going to move to our else statement. Now the reason we have our else statement is because our light is modulating. It's going to go up, but it's also going to go down. So right here we have the equation for B that's going to make it go down, okay? We also put this analog right again to make sure power is going to be, okay? Now for every light we're going to do the same thing. It's going to have its own if statement, its own equation, and its own else. And we're going to do this all the way down to E. E is basically going to be an anti-A of sorts, alright? Now, after E, we're going to set a delay. For us, we did 5. It made the lights look really smooth. We can use 10, 15, whatever you need.
Okay, so in order to make a pulse wave circuit, you have to follow the code by doing the right pin numbers, and you also have to wire everything into parallel. Now, you're going to need to get a breadboard, an Arduino Uno, 5 LEDs, and 5 resistors. You also need 6 wires in all, 5 being red preferably, and 1 blue. The blue wire represents your grounding wire, the red wires represent your positive wires where the electricity is going to initially flow from. So, we are using pins 3, pin 5, pin 6, pin 9, and pin 10. Okay, now, you will need to complete the circuit with a grounding wire, and it's grounded. See how these green lights are here? Because it flows from the Arduino Uno through the wire, through this, into the resistor, and the resistor makes it continue here. So, in order to continue the circuit, you would need to put the LED around here, put this part, the shorter end here, and the longer end here. These green lights are now all along this negative row right here. Put this wire here into ground, to ground this circuit. Right? So that's the completed circuit there, positive flowing in parallel. Each wire is in parallel to each other, so these resistors and LEDs are all in parallel.